Well, very good then. We have returned. Greetings, everybody. We are coming right back at you with some more D&D 5th edition action. We're gonna get that FaceTime Continuum happening right now. Faces. Hello, welcome back. Right. So you guys have survived, albeit barely. There was some very interesting save rolls, and I can imagine that you guys were sweating some bullets, but it's okay. Unfortunately for him, he went on the full offensive instead of a full defensive, which he could have done. He ran out of spell slots for his shield, and therefore ended up dying with an arrow in the neck. Very good. So yeah, what do you guys want to do from here?
Well, we're bringing tied up what's his name to the constable, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Baragusta.
Yep.
And hope the constable isn't part of the group.
No. Baragustas told you the name of the people. Specifically the.
Well, he told us some. Yeah.
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 There's 3 in particular that are of note. There's more people, and they're all sort of like high prominent members of, sort of patriarchs, not just patriarchs, but mostly patriarchal.
Yeah.
Of the prominent families in Red Larch. So there's a lot of scandal. You're getting that feeling. There's a lot of scandal going on. However, you're also getting that idea that the believers are, so they like to call themselves, they aren't so much evil as sort of misguided. And with that knowledge, especially with the Rock, who you deem have been kind of bad, maybe everything will be fine. But I don't know.
We learned.
Yeah, LaRock wasn't a local. He just showed up from somewhere and sort of took over this group, right?
Yeah. You're quite certain of that. You've never seen the Rock before. The Rock is where did he come from? Well, we don't really know.
We won the fight, but we learned surprisingly little. Like we got a lot out of this guy, but
it's almost like he might have been able to say something.
Well, you described the arrow in the neck immediately before we could say anything about non-lethal. So it's like, well, now that's canon now.
I
We
like
were
that
just
better,
going to shoot him in the leg.
No. The thing is though, there will be time to get more information. It just so happens that this guy is not going to be the one to give it to you. Right. So you guys are exiting back out to Red Larch. So let's go ahead and get.
But speaking of the dude, I realize we can't bring his whole body because apparently he's encased in stone. But do we want to do something like bring his head? Or just leave it?
It's up to you guys. Typically, you're quite certain, especially with a full-blown investigation going to happen. You're sure a full-blown investigation is going to happen. They will be down here. They will see for themselves.
Can we just
bring
send the constable in?
So that guy didn't have any holy symbols or anything on him.
I know,
if he's
nothing.
a priest.
Well, no, he has the holy symbol. He has the cultist symbols. He's got that several times on him. In fact, he's even got it tattooed on his flesh.
Okay, well, I don't care about his tattoos, but you said the only thing he had on him were those currency things. But, certainly he must have personal items and religious items and things like that, which we will be grabbing. Yeah,
you didn't see anything really on him of that nature, no. Unless, of course, you're quite sure, obviously, he doesn't just live off the stone? Well, you don't really know, but maybe that is possible. But
he doesn't have a holy symbol we can grab?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can take one of the patches of the symbol on his clothing, but you can't really.
Yeah, okay. I'll have cut that out.
Okay.
By the way,
and when
we figure out that we have an exit here, Eric puts back the femur.
No.
What was that? Sorry.
When we figure out that we're at an exit here and we're actually leaving, Eric puts back the femur.
Okay.
Oh, right.
So, right. So you put back the femur. All right, to close the exit. To close the exit, then.
No, just put it back with the body, like we're all because.
Oh right, okay. You're not trying to close the door or anything. You're just trying to.
I don't want to carry this around for like a weapon in town.
Right. Yeah. It would be very humorous.
And when we get back into town, I will be like sort of skulking back and not being with the group, right? Staying to the shadows, trying to stay out of sight.
Which brings the question: what is your first objective? Is your first objective to? I would imagine. Go get the constable. At least try to find the constable. The constable is obviously going to be somewhere in Red Larch with all this going on.
While we're walking with the old fellow, he's just a villager. We're walking back into town with him. I'm going to ask him if he'd heard anything about Lance Rock. If their group has any connection to if that's another holy site for them, if they have heard anything about that, if their leader here, the rock guy, La Rock, good job, had mentioned anything about a Lord of Lance Rock, any kind
and the Medusa.
And the Medusa, yeah,
or Marlos.
I keep forgetting we saw that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. No. And as before, he really likes you. He knows that he's sort of like got mixed in with the wrong group of people he feels right now. I mean, there were the right group of people for a while, but yeah, he has to admit quite openly to himself that things have changed recently and not really for the better. It seems kind of dark and insidious the way things have gone recently.
Yeah, he seemed like he didn't like it either.
Yeah,
so.
no. In fact, he tells you the 3 names of the people that were responsible specifically for bringing in, whether or not they actually killed them, bringing in those 3 individuals that you saw in the hallway.
The bodies.
The Rock himself is the one who also carved the symbol into the skull of those 3 bodies.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So it was the Hatherhands, the Harbucklers, and the Galker, or Rothan, Bargustus.
Yeah. So
and Marlando.
Yes, exactly. What that translates to is the barber. Because the barber, everybody knows he's kind of weird anyway. Not exactly a very forthcoming guy. The barber, the quarry owner, the owner of this quarry that you guys are walking out into, the one that also gave a hard time to his worker, the one that fired the worker and all that jazz. That one, as well as, if I remember correctly, find it. There's also, oh yes, the wagon worker there, the wagon smith.
Wagon
worker.
That's where the ladder goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
got
to track down his kid and what's going on there.
And in fact, yeah, he was one of the people that Baragustus will say out openly, drug the bodies into the main chamber there to be carved on, if you will. So. Okay,
so Bargustus is the old guy we're talking to. Rothan Hatherhand is the barber. Am I getting these right? I don't remember.
Marlandro Galker is the barber.
Yeah. Okay, all right. And the wagon master is
Ilmith Waver. Yeah, Welver. Okay. Yeah. These are really hard names. If only I had made these up, I would slap myself right now because they're really, really difficult to remember. I like Joe and Bob and Gary. It's a lot easier.
Little Timmy.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, and you were mentioning specifically about Lance Rock. We have like Baragustus. When you say Lance Rock, yeah, he's quite familiar with Lance Rock, right? He knows about Lance Rock. He doesn't know anything else. Like what you're saying there about undead and because I'm guessing that you're explaining that to him.
Yeah.
Knows nothing of that. Has no clue what you're talking about. And you can roll an insight check if you want.
Bloody hell. Well, I suppose it can't hurt. I mean,
just to kind of get that little bit out of the way. And yeah, you're certain. You're quite certain that he's not telling you a story. He knows about Lance Rock. Yes, of course, it's a geological monument thing.
Yeah.
Knows a story, a history about the fact that it was a dragon that dropped it. That actual piece of granite.
And this
there,
rock guy never mentioned anything. There was never a comment that indicated if he'd come from Waterdeep or from the east, or he never said anything about where he came from or how he showed up here.
Who in specific?
The Rock.
Right. No, he doesn't know where La Rock came from. In fact, he's been part of the Believers. He's one of the earlier followers of the Believers. A lot of these other kids, they're adults obviously, but they're new. Right? They haven't been around nearly as long as part of the Believers as he's been. Right? He's been there for a long time.
Okay.
And he just walked in one day for one of the meetings, and there was LaRock. Like, the hell? Like, and they have their meetings. They usually have their meetings right here in this chamber with all these floating rocks. Right?
Yeah, I figured.
That's where they had their meetings.
So the Believers just got taken over by all these like tea partiers. They're like rock party.
Yeah, and yeah, he sort of like played in on their fear. He seemed like a very charismatic guy. Even though
and the rocks have always been floaty, even before he showed up.
Yes. Yeah, the rocks have always been like that. They never moved either. That was the thing. They've always been there, and it was kind of neat. Obviously mystical forces or whatever was going on. They didn't understand that, but they never moved. They never touched the rocks. They never moved or anything. And then, yeah, the Rock comes in and you know, he shows up, and then all of a sudden, he shows up a few days after the Rock started moving, able to explain the messages, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
right.
Okay.
So, there's that.
Alrighty, so we'll head back. You know what? I mean, the old guy
Yeah.
can go home as far as I'm concerned. We'll just go to the constable.
Well, no, we should bring old guy because he can tell Constable what he told us.
Okay.
Right.
There you
Old
go.
guy is evidence.
Yeah, it definitely is. And there is the idea that you might want to hurry it up just in the off chance that other, you know, believers want to make a run for it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It could be that. There's going to be a whole roundup thing. And in fact, in the weeks that go by, just to kind of give you guys an idea, if you want to stick around in Red Larch to catch runners, you could do that. But then again, they've got actual guards for that. That's whatever you want to
Okay. Okay,
Um,
let's go.
do. Okay, so you're going to go
Constable.
find the constable.
Constable time.
It's easy
Yeah.
to
Go
find
to
the
the butcher
constable.
shop.
Yeah, you ask about the town. You're like, oh, the constable, this, that. They tell you exactly where the constable. Thank you for that donation, John Cena. Right. Okay. $2.25. Thank you very much. Right. So yeah, everybody seems to be able to point to the constable. The constable is primarily caught up with the murders outside the I want to say brothel for some reason. That's indeed not it. The
Boarding house.
boarding house. Thank you. It starts with a B. Jesus. Obviously, I come up
Okay.
with brothel. Anyway, so there's that. And yeah, you guys can go there and you can tell him
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
While he's
Okay.
investigating the kills that we did.
Right.
What was that, Quill?
While he's investigating the kills that we were responsible for.
There is that. And you can tell him that you're responsible for it, and you can tell him why.
Well, they
and you have
did attack
evidence and
us.
everything.
They did attack us.
They started it.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
And we think they're probably responsible for the big cave-in here. At least we're going to say that at the very
Oh, the
least.
sinkhole.
Totally. Oh God. Anyway, yeah. I guess we're gonna have to tell him.
Also,
Is there anything we're not telling him?
yeah, there's that. You might, yeah. How much do you really? Because this is, I know, also a role playing bit, but seriously, what exactly do you want to say? Because, oh, you could just you could.
Okay,
divulge
how about-
everything.
I mean, we could just say, you know, we've got this old guy with cave in. That, you know, we went down to investigate. We saved a child. We found this old guy.
Yeah.
There was a necromancer or some evil magic guy, whatever name you want to put on it.
Right.
Attacked us.
Romancer.
And
He's
I
romancing
hope
stone.
rock romancer. A rock
Oh no!
I don't know. Do we mention the boarding house at all?
It might help his investigation, and if you guys don't feel guilty at all, I mean,
On the one hand, our story sounds better if we didn't do that. On the other hand, it would save him wasting a lot of time on that.
True.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well,
All
Hassan,
right.
you should get a feel for like how
Okay.
he's feeling about these men being killed. You know, if he's like, well, these guys are all just like out of towners, mercenaries. They're
I mean, they
troublemakers,
didn't
probably.
attack us. They were
Cultists.
just walking
Yeah,
by
it was.
the building.
It was self-defense.
It was self-defense. They did attack us. So, you know, okay, we'll tell him. Let's just tell him.
also,
I've
Tal,
known
are you still in your garb, or are you?
No,
As I said, I was skulking back
Flicking
and
off.
sort of hiding.
Okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're competent enough. They're not even looking for you. So that's good. Okay, so
All right.
Eric and the son, you're going forth, and that's the information that you want to
Yeah,
tell him.
we're just going to come clean. Yeah, it was self-defense. Those
Right.
guys attacked us first. So, through the window.
Well,
They
when
come
you start
charging
telling
out
him
and
about the
attack.
actual murder, like, he looks at you, he trusts you a lot, right? Probably more than he should, but then again, at the very same time,
Somebody fell on their knives.
he's a veteran, right? He's seen a lot of like untrustworthy people. You don't
He's pretty
seem like
solid,
an
this
untrustworthy
guy, right?
person, right?
Yeah, he's pretty solid. Okay.
Yeah. And
Like, straight up honest, gets the job done.
yeah.
Okay.
And he actually, at this point, he actually thanks you for telling him about what happened here with these particular, because he could not for the life of him figure. It's like, yeah, okay, so these guys wander in, as people do with boarding houses. They wander in, they leave, or whatever. So these guys have been here for a while, though. When he was questioning the owner of the boarding house, normally people come in, they leave. These guys have been here for a while.
And what have they been doing in town? I mean, they're not here to be merchants or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first time he's heard of it. In fact, he thought it was odd that the owner of the boarding house didn't say anything about it. And when questioned, she didn't seem to give him any reason that she would be in on something. But you guys can question her if you want. There is basically, you mentioned he has seen the interesting symbol, the little bowl, whatever symbol that goes on there for the Earth cultists. He doesn't know about Earth cultists, but you tell him that you can find more. He will definitely he's gonna go down into. He doesn't know anything about this quarry, this underground thing.
Okay.
But he's gonna go and check that out with his guards.
Alrighty. And we'll give him the names of the people we've been
that's the thing, because we have the old man, and he can testify to all these people who were involved in stuff.
Yeah, they put him in custody. Yeah, they like the custom that they give people when they tie their hands up is usually behind their back. But he likes Baragustus. He's known Baragustus for a long time, so he doesn't really do that to him. Instead, he just sort of like leads him by the hand and passes him off to another guard, and the guard takes care of him from there. So
it doesn't seem like much of a threat.
The believers themselves have not been an issue until this guy arrived, and these three leaders sort of said, "Let's go off into the sort of dark side of things," right?
Yeah, exactly.
The believers were just another church, like it wasn't another religion.
Well, that's just it. It was very, because when you say believers, he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Right? Like, apparently it's super secret. They did a really good job of keeping it super secret. So yeah, no, the constable didn't know anything about the believers at all. Nothing about them. So.
Okay.
Right. So anyway, the bodies are being picked up after now, since they know pretty much what happened. And interestingly enough, there's one more thing to mention. He asks you about the task that he set out for you in terms of the finding
the caravan outside town.
Oh, right.
He asked you about that.
Right. I forgot.
What about
did we not turn in that quest after we did?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Everything got excited and crazy. He asked you specifically. He says, and about the caravan. Did you find them? Are they okay?
Yeah.
We found them. They're fine. We took their wagon to what's his face. Except now we know we can't. Yeah, except now we know we can't trust him so much. But I don't know if he had anything to do with bandits. They seemed like poor bandits, just starving.
Okay. Well, and that's good enough for him. Is he takes your word, face value, and he gives you guys the bounty, the agreed upon amount.
Did we get money for this?
Yeah. No. Of course you do. Yeah. No. He's asking you to do the job of a town guard. So he gives you enough for a week, right? Enough for a week of payment, which is for really good, and plus a bonus. So you guys get 10 gold. Not a lot.
Total?
Yeah, 10 gold total.
Okay.
That's a lot of living expenses.
Yeah, that's exactly for an entire week of work for one job, right? So there's that.
3 for me and 3 for Tao and 4 for Eric because he eats more.
Well, I was gonna say, if you consider the fact that we have 20 gold piece worth of those trade token pyramid things, that comes up to 30, which means we can get 10 gold each between those two things.
So yeah, you guys can adjust that right now. Tao, while you're sitting there snooping about in the shadows, probably overhearing a lot of what's being said, what's your passive perception? Yeah, okay, so you catch on to it really fast.
Things
you
in
hear
the shadow.
Psst, and
I turn around and stab whatever I see.
Do you really?
I turn around, draw my daggers, ready to stab whatever I see.
Right, okay. When you turn around, you draw your dagger and says, "Ho, friend."
Like reflexes.
It's the they call you friend, right? But technically, you're your rivals. It's the other bakery. So it's a zhentarim contact. Yeah, and they
one of the few people not implicated in the rock conspiracy.
Yeah, these guys are totally good.
Right, I know. Well, right now,
allies and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know about totally good, but yeah.
So yeah, he says to you, been busy of late?
We've been keeping occupied, yes. Do you have news for me?
Possible job. Come in to where I'm supposed to go. I don't really want to go. I mean, I kind of like making baked goods. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what that would be like.
Yeah.
Never had the inclination to be a baker.
Yeah. And he says, I will actually pay you my salary to go and if you get the chance to check out the Barge Right Inn, further to the the southeast.
I love
That's
it.
outside of town, right?
Yeah, Barge Right. Yeah, it's it's like a town. It's an inn, but it grew up around the inn.
At these crossroads. Yeah.
Apparently, it's in the interest of the zhentarim to find out what's going on there because they're losing quite a bit of coin. Shipments are coming in late, and then when things are coming in, they're not as what was on the ledgers. Things are like missing or added to, and the actual zhentarim is losing money on their venture in Barge Right Inn. And I'm supposed to go check it out.
The zhentarim own the Barge Right Inn?
Well, yeah, you know this.
Sure, of course. Totally.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, I'm gonna roll for that. Wait a second.
And so there's some accounting irregularities.
Yeah.
We need to go over there and audit things.
Yeah, he's supposed to go there and find out. He says, obviously, be as discreet as you can, because if we're going to find out what's going on, they can't know you're one of us, right?
I'm not one of you.
You say that? Okay. He looks at you and he's like, but I thought...
That's
I'm an
what you
independent
get for
contractor.
Independent contract. Oh, well, that's even better then, right? Because then the other zhentarim wouldn't know your face. See, I had the problem of having to actually pay a mage to change my looks because they know me down there. So I don't even have to pay for that. Thank you. You're saving me a lot of money. I'll give you a little extra bonus.
How much?
I really don't want to go down there.
The most realistic form of like criminals is like, oh, I will give you extra money that was not agreed upon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, this guy will, because honestly, he knows that if he goes, it basically, he's either going to do the job well, or he will die for it. And he doesn't want to die for it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he likes making bakery goods. Right? And also, yeah, that works out for him. So that's a little conversation that you guys have. That's something for you to decide if you want to talk to the rest of the group about later. You can do that.
I didn't hear what the payment was going to be.
Oh.
Right. Because that'll be that for expenses. For expenses and like hazard pay and everything, it's going to be a total of 200 gold. I just gave you a bonus. His little bonus that he's got going on there too.
Holy
200
cow,
bonus.
I don't know.
that's a lot of money.
200 gold.
Seems like a long trip to have to take out of our way. You know, I've got this other thing going on right now that's kind of interesting.
All right, make a persuasion or a diplomacy check. And
Well, luckily,
you get advantage on it because he still does not want to go.
And luckily, I do have my discipline of the conquering mind, so I've got the subtle sort of influence going on here. Effectively gives me proficiency. Persuasion?
Yep.
With advantage. How about a natural 20?
Wow.
Give me that dollar.
Right.
Dala,
Okay.
dala.
With the crit. All right. Let me think this through. Okay. I'll just roll again. That's what I'll do. That's the way we'll do. Holy shit. That's not fair.
I want double.
Well, you don't. According to my dice, you don't quite get double, but you know what? Fine. I'll give you double. Right. So it'll be a total. We'll get a total of. Because you made a crit, right? It's a crit, and I did roll really high. So okay. You know what? We're fine. We will. Yeah, he will give you when you come back, right? You know what he'll do? He'll give you incentive now. That's what he'll do. He'll give you incentive. He's going to give you 50 gold up front.
Each?
No, it's just Tao. He's just the baker.
Yeah. So just 50 gold up front, and when you
Just the
return,
widow.
or if you return, he doesn't say if. He says when you return, I would give you another 350.
350. Yeah.
Because
That's
honestly, he says I think it's fair because while you're gone, I stand to also make more money with the bakery. Right? It's only fair. You're saving his hide, and he's gonna get more money because you're out of town anyway.
His
Right?
rat meat pies, yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice crit though. Holy shit. All right, so you guys are gonna have some money if you do this. Now, money is the only thing that's gonna really ring in true for this at the moment. So Lasan and Eric, I don't know what your interest in this would be, but maybe Tao can sort of persuade you. I don't know. But yeah, that's that.
Okay. So
What else?
the constable is going out to investigate, and we're just kind of like left alone now.
Oh, yep. So the constable goes on about his investigation. You got Lasan and Eric. You guys.
Is he sending people to deal with all those different names that we gave?
What's
like
that?
the kid's father and all that stuff?
Yeah. No, it does make a difference because the kid's father has been implicated. He is a believer, right? Because Baragustus can totally confirm that. And so what's going on right now is you got guards. The constable himself is going down into the quarry. He's going to go check out the entire underground network, and with a few guards. And the rest of the guards are actually going to go and round up the other believers. That's what they're doing. They're going to go knock on door and grab.
Really big rats.